Hello travelers and welcome back. As I mentioned in previous video that I will explore one island from Greece, so here am I, on the fourth most visited island in Greece, Zakynthos, or how Italian used to call it Zante, or flower of the east. Why this place is having so many names, we will find out right now. Let's go. Zakynthos is a Greek island located in the Ionian Sea, and it is the third largest of the Ionian Islands, with an area of 405 square kilometers and with a population of 11,039 people recorded at the moment in 2023 who still living here. This island is located at 300 kilometers west from Athens and 9.5 marine miles from the Peloponnese coast, from where it is reachable by a regular ferry service. The history of Zakynthos is long and complex, even by Greek standards. After the fall of the Byzantine Empire, it has been held by the Kingdom of Naples, the Ottoman Turks, the Republic of Venice, the French, Russian, British, Italians and Germans. Homer first mentioned the island in his two poems, the Iliad and the Odyssey, stating that the first inhabitants were the son of King Dardanus of Troy, called Zakynthos and his men, who reached the island around 1500s and 1600s BC. But before being renamed Zakynthos, the island was said to have been called Hyre. Zakynthos was conquered by the king Archesios of Sipolonia, and then by Odysseus from Ithaca. The western half of the island is a mountainous plateau, and the southeast coast consists mostly of steep cliffs. The eastern half is a densely populated fertile plain with long sandy beaches, interrupted with several isolated hills. The mild Mediterranean climate and plentiful winter rainfall endow the island with dense vegetation. The main occupation of the people of Zakynthos are olive trees. Apart from that, they cultivate corns, grapes and currants. Olive groves are a big part of the local income, derived from selling olive oil. The trees are everywhere around the island, and not just here but on the entire Greece as well. These are cultivated more in the south part of the island, where the fields are more horizontal. You won't believe what bird lives in Zakynthos. On the first day of my arrival here, I heard the loud sounds coming from the olive trees. I stopped to see what kind of bird it was, but I couldn't, until one day in the garden of the hotel I caught with the camera this. It was a hummingbird, who came to collect nectar from the flowers that were in the garden. The bird flew so fast that I could not understand what it was with the naked eye. Zakynthos is an island of big contrast for the presence of golden beaches and massive rocky coasts. Benefits from a Mediterranean temperature climate with mild winters and cool summers. The generous winter rain favor the growth of thick vegetation and assure of remarkable water reserve. That is why the island is very green, and in the past both Homer and Venetian rulers used to call it wooded and lavender flower. Arriving at the airport, the first thing I saw was the mess around it. The airport itself looks very small and old. Surprisingly for me, the trip was without delays and everything was on time. First thing I did after arriving is pick up the car, which I rented from SIXT opposite the airport. This company was the only one that I could find without requiring a credit card to pay the deposit, which is around 1,000 euros, and it was one of the cheapest as well. I paid for the rental 200 euros and partial insurance at 145 and deposit of 80 euro that are refundable. I will suggest you to take full insurance in case of rocks falling on your car or thieves breaking the windows. This car cost me 345 euros for 8 days. It's a little bit expensive for me, but it was the only option that I had. The first place that I visited in Zakynthos was Planos, also known as Slivi, that became my home for the rest of my stay. Livi is located at 6 kilometers north of the city of Zakynthos and is the third most popular resort on the island. In recent years, Livi has become one of the favorite resorts in Zakynthos for couples and families. Comparatively with Laganas and Zakynthos town, this place is more peaceful. This beach is one of the 3 large sand beaches where you can have plenty of time to relax with your family. Livi also has a very popular water parks that is listed among the top 10 water parks in Greece. The area offers number of hotels, restaurants, pubs and even a fantasy mini golf course. This place is more beautiful in sunny time, but unfortunately on the day of my arrival it was raining and there was a very strong wind. As you can see, the beach is almost empty. Compared to Tenerife, the water was a little bit colder and the waves were very big. I would suggest for unconfident swimmers to be very careful, as the sea can pull into the deep. I have rented the room in the 3-level building. It was cleaned daily and the new towels and bed sheets were provided every day. There was a small kitchen area to cook and basic utensils in place, and the most important thing, the balcony with the garden view. I also got a small secure safe that looked like had been used for 100 years. One thing I didn't like here was the lack of parking lot. The only space for parking could fit 5 cars and it was already booked. The remaining option is to leave your car on the streets, but for the tourist is not so safe. This is why I took the full insurance. The next place that I visit is Porto Vromi beach that is located on the west coast of the island of Zakynthos, and it's about 35 kilometers from Zakynthos town. It boasts stunning crystal clear water, making it ideal for snorkeling, whereas it also has beautiful surrounding greenery and a couple of nearby caves you can visit. Before arriving, make sure to bring all you need to spend a fantastic day in a place less contaminated than others. When you arrive on the beach of Porto Vromi, you'll notice that it's not very well equipped, for example parkings. Here you can decide whether to rent boats, pedal boats or boats, as well as being able to take a seat on one of the ferries that leave from Porto Vromi to reach the Blue Caves and Navagio beach, both about 30 minutes from the bay. There is a beach bar right behind the shore, where you can grab a refreshment at any time. The advice that I will give to families with children is to pay attention to the little ones. The water here becomes immediately deep and could be dangerous. There is no way to reach Porto Vromi beach without car, although the public transport is not going here. You can reach this place by boat, but it is taking almost a day to visit just few places. The road ahead has a series of switchbacks from which you will have to drive at low speed. From this port I took a ferry boat to Navagio beach, or how people used to call it Shipwreck beach. This is the most important place that represents Zakynthos. Towards Navagio beach I stopped in some caves to explore them. These caves were created by waves that hit the rocks for hundreds of years. You cannot leave the island without having seen this beach from the panoramic view at the top of the promontory facing the beach itself. Halfway between the villages of Volimes and Eniphonitria, there is an asphalt road leading to a huge car park. Getting down a few steps you reach the balcony from where you can admire the beach. Viewing the beach from top of the cliffs is the crucial thing to do, as this is the only place from where you can make beautiful pictures of Navagio beach. To take the journey to see the beach itself is not a bad idea at all, as many people just admire it from the top. Though I took the ferry, as it just cost me 20 euros. Once arriving there you may not be so impressed, as the beach itself looks like any other Greek beaches, the only different thing being the shipwreck and its story. There have been lots of stories about what happened with this ship, but the truth of the story is quite simple. The ship started a journey in Kefalonia in 1918, preparing to go towards Port of Athens. But in the last minutes the plan was changed and the owner made a deal with captain to collect 1,895 boxes, each containing 15 packs of cigarettes. During the return, due to the engine failure and the strong wind, the ship stopped on the sand beach of Zakynthos that remain until today. The captain was blamed for smuggling, but finally he was cleared and was free to collect the ship. But when he arrived it was already rusted and he decided to leave it there. Water around Navagio often have electrical light blue color because of the numerous sulfurous caves around the beach. And when the sea is rising, a large quantity of sulfur radiates, giving the indescribable color to the water. I was a little bit disappointed as the access to the beach was prohibited. I saw from the ferry some warning signs. The rocks can fall from the top. Before coming here I made some shots with my drone from the viewpoint on the top. Couldn't catch lots of shots as I almost lost my drone and even my camera stabilizer didn't resist the strong wind that was in that day. On the way back the boat stopped at the Sfoio beach for 40 minutes so we could swim there instead of Navagio beach. If you want to stay more, you can rent a boat for all day, but it will cost you a lot. If the main beach will be closed, then probably the agency will choose another place as a stop point. A small and beautiful island with its own interesting history. Located in the Agios area and easily reachable on foot, Cameo Island is just 8 minutes walking to the beach from Laganas. This hidden treasure was once part of Zakynthos until 1633, when there was an earthquake which separated this small area from the mainland and became autonomous. It is connected to the mainland by a short wood bridge, which is making it to look like the Caribbean. The island is named after the small church that has been there for 16 centuries. Recently it has gained a reputation as a great wedding spot and weddings are organized on the beach. Just in case you want to marry or to make a proposal to someone with this beautiful view, there is no problem at all, as on the island you have everything you need. The entry to Cameo Island is €5 for one person and you can stay till the island is closing. The bar on the island was closed and the zone for events was booked for wedding. Don't miss the opportunity to take a picture when you arrive on Cameo Island, because here are people who organize it and even making a small keychain in the price you paid at the entry. There is a small car park and all the time is full, as it is a focal point for tourists. My advice to you is to rent a small car, otherwise you'll have a trouble with parking. There are just a few payable bays on the island and those are in the Zakynthos capital, so to come early before tourist bus is coming is your best option. Gerakas is a huge sand beach on the southeast tip of Zakynthos Island. It's just 16 kilometers from the capital, which is around 25 minutes drive. From May to October, for those who would like to wake up before dawn, there is a possibility to assist to the turtles' eggs hatching and admire tens of specimens trying to reach the sea. This beach is protected area of the Zakynthos Marine Park because of the turtles' choice to go there to hatch, and in addition to the fact it doesn't offer any tourist device, the access is forbidden for half an hour before the sunset to half an hour after dawn. There is also some medical mud clay here that was once enjoyed by all tourists who visited. But unfortunately the mud has since deteriorated, making the ridge unstable, so it is now actually closed up to visitors. Seeing turtles in Gerakas beach is definitely one of the best things to do in Zakynthos. You have a pretty good chance of coming face to face with one of these enormous creatures while swimming in the water here. Gerakas beach is partly equipped with sunbeds and umbrellas, but the price is so high that it's not worth it to rent it, at cost of £60 a day just one umbrella and sunbed. The first thing when you get here is to find a parking space. Don't worry, there is a huge park lot 5 minutes walk from the beach. As well, there are a few facilities that can be visited, for example this small aquarium with fish and turtles. For those who really plan to see turtles in the sea but hasn't this opportunity, you still can enjoy a few species here. Agios Nikolaos is the second port of Zakynthos, connecting it with Cameo Island during the summer. Many boats and boat trips to the Blue Caves and Navagio beach run from here all day, and the trip is much shorter compared to the boats starting from Zakynthos town. There is also a small pebbly beach between the two piers. Around the port you'll find some nice bakery and restaurants to relax for a couple of hours. This place is located approximately 30 kilometers northwest of Zakynthos city and is the nearest port from where you can rent boats to the northern beautiful caves. For those who renting cars, I will give an advice to check every place before going, as most of them can't be reachable by foot. I thought I will save some money by not renting a boat to the Blue Caves and decide to drive. Don't do that, friends. Google Maps played tricks on me and brought me on the hills and country roads. I almost got stuck in the place where no one lives for miles around and the signal didn't work at all. I started clearing stones from the roads so as not to break the car. That's why I suggested getting full car insurance when you rent. Plakaki is located on the northeastern side of Zakynthos in a coastal area belonging to the territory of the mountains village of Koroni, situated inland at an altitude of 161 meters. This place seems hidden between two low hills and there is no road leading directly to the beach, which means a little walk is required to get there. The beach remains relatively unknown to many, that helps to maintain more private area even at the peak of the Greek summertime. The distance from Zakynthos town is 25 kilometers and takes almost 45 minutes to drive by car. Of course, if you have your own boat, you can always arrive by sea. The water is deep very close to the shore and allows you to anchor the ship at a close distance. The best option to park the car for free is on the main road to the top, or you can drive down towards the beach, but there is limited space and the road is very steep and dangerous. The last option is to live at the parking space that is behind this hill, which allows you to stay there as much as you want at a cost of €2 per hour. If you want to eat something, there is a facility that will deliver the food directly to the beach with this basket. There are some umbrellas and sunbeds that you can rent. I don't know how it is in Athens or other parts of Greece, but here in Zakynthos the menu is almost the same around the entire island. Gyros is a favorite Greek street food and you will find it in every restaurant because it is the cheapest. When the evening comes, all the restaurants are full and the waiters are standing on the streets inviting people in. Some of them are very pushy and make you feel a little uncomfortable. Tips are not required in Greece, but before paying at the restaurant double check the amount, because many waiters add their own tip without asking the customer. Prices for dishes in Zakynthos are about the same as in Tenerife. For example, these plates cost about €22 for 2 people. I was very impressed that the Greeks do not use olives in any of their dishes, even though they are the second largest producer of olives in Europe. Porto Limnionas is the most hidden place and maybe for this reason more beautiful and wild of the entire island. To get there you have to pass through the mountains village of Agios Nikolaos and from there following the signs driving down a recently asphalt road, running down to the sea and ending in a small square where you can park. Before arriving there, take towels with you and beach shoes, as the rocks are very sharp. I didn't prepare myself and cut my feet in 2 places. There were built facilities a few years ago and were just 10 or 20 sunbeds installed with umbrellas. The probability of having one of these is low. Most of the tourists I saw here were drying off on the rocks after swimming. If you are coming here with your kids, pay attention as the rocks are very slippery and the water is instantly deep. I caught a jellyfish on camera while swimming in this water, but it wasn't dangerous even if you touching it. Jellyfish sting people from time to time, usually brushing swimmers or surfers, but the most dangerous species are in Australia or the Indian Ocean. Plakaki beach is located in the northwestern part of the island. It's just 21 kilometers from Zakynthos town and you have to pass through Laganas village and mountains to get in there. Once you arrive, park your car wherever you want without worry about the time, because this place is wild and not many people come here. Before coming here, equip yourself with shoes to be able to reach the beach, because you have to walk for about 30 minutes. Most tourists come here for the first time in flip-flops without knowing what they have to go through. If you plan to stay all day, take food with you because there are no facility at all. Just an ice cream machine that comes sometimes in the peak season. And as well, don't leave any valuables that you have in your car. This place is amazing for snorkeling but could be dangerous for others, as there are not sand beaches but just rocks and deep water. In windy days like these, careful when making pictures from cliffs and swimming in this water, as the waves can easily push you into the rocks. Zakynthos town is the capital and commercial center of the Zakynthos island. The city is located on the eastern coast of the foot of Bochile Hill, and with its 16,000 residents is the largest city on the island. In 1953, the strongest earthquake destroyed the city and many people left the island forever. After years the city was restored, but most of the ruins were left around the island, and even now most of the buildings from the city looks very weird and old. The main historical place that you can visit is Bochile Venetian Castle. Unfortunately, at the time that I visited it was closed, but I haven't lost too much. I will show some pictures from the internet and you'll see if it is worthy for yourself to visit. As well, you have to pay €4 at the entrance. The only beauty that you can see from this place is to admire the city, but you can do this for free from the panoramic view of Bochile a little bit down from the castle. The beach of Zakynthos town, which is mostly pebbles rather than sand, extends for 2 kilometers and it's visited mostly by Greeks on weekends. Although it is not one of the most beautiful beaches on the island, it is still a great choice for those who are stopping for one day with a cruise trip. Definitely you will not get bored if you're staying in the capital, as you've got restaurant, pubs and lots of opportunities to go anywhere with tour trip. But for me it's more important to find natural beauty of the island or country that I'm visiting. Agios Nikolaos beach is located at the northeast side of the island at 26 kilometers from Zakynthos main town and very close to Agios Nikolaos port. This place was the last one that I visited here. The only beauty was the caves, the water was dirt and the waves huge, the beach was rocky and crowded. I also took towels as I didn't want to rent sunbeds or umbrellas for extra cost. There are a few bars where you can easily buy food or fresh drinks.
I want to thank you guys for watching my video. Until next time, stay safe and sound, and don't forget to travel, because it's worth it.